Little update, so the bowls and the slides are now clean from their old gaskets. Someone had used rubber grease to hold the old gaskets in place, which after 20 years of maturing has turned into cement, so that was quite tricky to get rid of that in the sealing surface. These are now de-tarred and the orange gunk is all gone, so that's ready for rebuild. These jets, 3 of them are blocked, so that you need cleaning. I can't seem to do them with what I have here. The rest of the emulsion tubes and jets and stuff need cleaning because they're a different size. The original kits come with a 115 and these got 122 jets in. The exhaust headers have come up quite nice. They've just gone back to sort of bare stainless look. I won't polish those up for now, they're just exhaust pipes, they just get dirty, but altogether it will just lift the bike a little bit, make it look a bit fresher, so it looks a bit like road bike potential. So at the moment I'm just doing a quick engine service, do the oil, take the clutch out, soak that in oil, put it back in, take the cam cover off, soak the cams in oil, and sort of change direction back to a position where I might be able to hear the engine turn over at least, so I know it spins. Yeah, nice and clean in there, sort of nice and clean everywhere really. There's not a lot on this bike, it's quite easy. That's it, yeah. Now time for another montage. The clutch so far looks pretty good, no horror stories down there. Yeah, because this has been in storage, there's probably some condensation inside the engine. That plate is probably fixed onto that plate with a little bit of rust, but when it all adds up, it can actually over torque the engine. So the symptoms are, when you take a bike out of storage for too long, it'll rev up fine in neutral, pull in the clutch, click it into first gear, and it will stall the engine because instead of the clutch plates spinning independently of one another, they're bound together as if you've just smashed it into gear with no clutch, and it will cut out. So I know this is probably going to happen. Preventatively, take the clutch out, oil it up, make sure it's working before we get anywhere. So it's pretty simple. These 5 bolts, whiz them out. The springs are underneath there, so the whole thing will move out as I loosen those off, so do them quite evenly. Otherwise you'll do it all on the last one. There's springs behind them. Then yeah, remember what order they are. Sometimes there's a little nick in one of the plates to tell you it's the first or the second, but try and take it out in a lump. Have some oil ready in a tray somewhere and just soak it. That's it. Taking the plates out, as you can see here, and they all move quite freely. There's no horrible purple colours. The only other thing to look out for on the clutch basket, you see those sort of wear patches on the side. Just keep an eye on those, make sure they don't get too deep, otherwise you won't have trouble releasing the clutch. But they all look fine. A few bloody deep score marks in there, that's just from the spring, I guess. And now a bit of a crossroads, because this is fine, I'll soak it anyway, but this wouldn't have stuck together, so this precaution wasn't entirely necessary. But I've had it before, so I'm not going to get stuck out twice. But now looking at it, that needs a new gasket on that cover, so I need to order one of those. I will still soak this, but I've got a bit of time now. That needs a new gasket, bring it together, then I know that's going to be oil tight. Do the cams whilst I'm here, fill the engine up with oil. I can't do it until I've got a new gasket. Kind of at a pause with the engine until I get a new clutch cover gasket. But that's alright, not in a bad place at all. I'm going to go soak this and clean off the old gasket. Beautiful clean engine oil, which I guess you expect on a bike that's been used on the track or as a track bike. So that bodes really well, that's nice to see. From that exhaust gasket thing, I think I've got something odd here. So if you look at this port, it's got, I thought this was a bit of coke that had built up, but I'm starting to think this is metal. I think that's a bit of flashing from the casting, which is right where you don't want it. That's just like a little sort of, I don't know, 3mm flap blocking the bottom of the exhaust. This one's got it a little bit, so time to do some porting, time to get some brake horsepower out of this baby. I'm going to get the old, I don't know, little Dremel or something and just take that edge of flashing off and make use of the exhaust pipe. So that'll be good. That's a win. A little bit of porting later and you can now just get your finger in there, just like all the other ports. No flashing, no sharp edges, but that would have been detrimental. Not by much because it's in the exhaust port, but it just wouldn't have helped. So getting rid of it was a good thing. Interesting what you find on bikes like this. So the exhaust is on. I lost a stud for a bit. It took a bit of a while to replace, not replace, to find, but just me being a donkey. So I've just taken the cam cover off quickly to have a little look in here at the cams to see if there's anything horrible. If a bike's been on its side for ages and run, you might notice that one of them's gone purple or something, but that's all you're really looking for, is big discolorations or things that don't look normal. But this, although it looks bone dry, there's nothing in here I don't like the look of, so it seems fine to me. I'm just going to drizzle some oil over it. It hasn't seen oil in, you know, however many years, decade or two, and then I'll put the case back on, clean the cam cover. These earths look really good, they're not going to cause a problem later on for finding spark, and pretty happy with that. It came off really easy, going to go back on really easy, not going to disturb it too much. I do need to, there's a breather pipe here that just I think should go to something that's been removed, so I'm going to put a long pipe on it, loop it around the subframe, and then have it out the back. That long pipe will act as a breather, and it's so long there should be enough back pressure there. It'll act almost like a filter, and shouldn't let too much shit into the cylinder heads. We're getting close to finishing for today, so I've just put the cam cover back on, oiled up all the cams, they look all lovely and clean. This spigot here needs a breather pipe, so I'm going to buy some pipe for that. I've got a new fuel filter coming, I forgot about one of those. Towards the end of my day now, the exhausts are on, cam cover's on, clutch cover's leaning on, it's not actually on properly. The bike's in I'm pretty happy with how it's doing, with how I'm going. A couple of jobs left today. This is all around getting the engine running. First one is to soak the radiators in a bit of detergent like this, just fill the voids, and then I'll pour boiling water over this and then gently slosh that through. It's quite a clear radiator, hasn't got a lot wrong with it, so there's no need blowing it out or anything. The air filter, it's already got a K&N in it. It's already got a K&N air filter up there. There's absolutely no need to replace that, so I'll take that out. You clean them with petrol, I think, but I'll see how it's looking. We might replace it. And then tomorrow I'll be back down with the carbs cleaned and something else done. Yeah, hopefully all the carb stuff cleaned, so I'll put that back in. Oh, I'll be in my van as well, so I can do the spark plugs, and there'll be a continuation from here to then. Here to then? Now to then. And yeah, we'll go over it then, and then I think that's roughly me done with all the stuff I've bought. I need to find more stuff to sort of move ahead, which will be next month, so yeah, we'll get there. So there'll be an instalment shortly, but it's going to be tomorrow.